What if I told you that the most dangerous people are not the loudest, the cruelest, or even the most powerful, but the quietest ones? The ones who smile, listen, and make you feel seen. The ones who wear virtue like a cloak while sharpening the knife behind your back. History remembers tyrants, the ones who ruled with iron fists, who burned cities and silenced dissent. But the true architects of power, they don't storm the gates. They are invited in. Niccolò Machiavelli, often misunderstood as a champion of cruelty, never glorified evil. He revealed it, coldly, clinically, as a part of human nature. His book, The Prince, was not a guide to tyranny, but a mirror reflecting how power truly works in the shadows. He wrote of rulers who mastered the art of appearing just, merciful, and pious, while doing whatever was necessary to maintain control. They didn't win through fear alone. They won by trust. Because what is more disarming than a kind smile? What is more seductive than the illusion of moral certainty? The most dangerous power does not walk like a wolf, it learns to dress like a shepherd. And that's why you need to keep watching. Because in this series, we're going to uncover the hidden faces of control, not just in kings and politicians, but in coworkers, friends, and even lovers. The danger isn't just out there, it's beside you, and sometimes it's within you. If this already has you rethinking the nature of trust, manipulation, and power, stay with me. What you're about to learn might not be comfortable, but it could protect you from the worst kind of betrayal, the one you never saw coming. We're just getting started. Let's move deeper. Chapter 2 begins where the illusion tightens, when false allies become your greatest threat. They don't raise their voices. They don't need to. Those who master manipulation understand something most never will. True power isn't about forcing obedience. It's about creating the illusion of choice, about making you believe that the path you're walking is your own, when in truth, it's been quietly paved for you. This is the art of the false ally. They don't arrive as threats. They arrive as helpers. They echo your beliefs. They mirror your values. They show up when you're vulnerable and offer precisely what you need: validation, understanding, support. You let them in, not because they demand it, but because you trust them. And that's exactly what they want. Machiavelli warned us about these people, the ones who understand that raw force is messy, visible, and breeds resistance. But if you wear the mask of compassion, if you present yourself as a savior, people will not only lower their guard, they will hand you the keys. It's why the most dangerous individuals in power rarely declare their ambitions. Instead, they whisper promises. They shake hands. They give speeches that stir the soul but serve their strategy. Behind every charming smile could be a ruthless calculation, and behind every offer of help, a quiet negotiation for control. But this isn't just about politics. It's the coworker who always plays the victim, yet somehow controls the room. It's the friend who subtly pulls you away from others, piece by piece, cloaking isolation as loyalty. It's the partner who says they love you, but slowly erodes your confidence until you no longer recognize yourself. These people don't just manipulate your reality, they rewrite it. If you're finding this message unsettling, that's good. It means you're waking up. If this content speaks to something you felt but couldn't name, now is the time to subscribe, because the further we go, the more clearly you'll begin to see the patterns, both in others and within yourself. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. But discernment, that sharp, intuitive clarity, is something you can develop. And once you see the strings, the puppeteer loses power. In the next chapter, we explore the minds behind these masks, not just manipulators, but high-functioning predators who walk among us, unnoticed. They don't just crave power, they crave control, not through violence, but through charm. Chapter 3 begins now. They don't stalk the streets at night. They walk into boardrooms, into your home, into your trust. When we think of psychopaths, we imagine the extremes: cold-blooded killers, criminals, monsters lurking in alleyways. But the truth is far more chilling. The most dangerous psychopaths don't break the law. They write the rules. They sit in high-rise offices. They win elections. They make us feel safe, while draining us of everything. Dr. Robert Hare, the world's leading expert on psychopathy, discovered something deeply disturbing. Many of the world's most successful people, those praised, promoted, and followed, exhibit the exact traits of clinical psychopaths. They are charming, intelligent, and utterly devoid of empathy. But what makes them truly terrifying is how perfectly they hide it. These individuals are not violent by default. They don't need to be. They manipulate through precision. They are masters of impression management, experts in saying exactly what you want to hear. They can mimic warmth, fake vulnerability, and feign morality with chilling ease. And all the while, they are calculating. Every word, every glance, every gesture, crafted to win your trust and then bend it to their will. They don't just lie. They lie without blinking. They don't just exploit. They convince you to thank them for it. They don't need you to fear them. They need you to admire them. And that's the trap. Because these people don't come wearing horns. They come with open arms. They charm you, praise you, make you feel special. But the moment you outlive your usefulness, you're discarded without hesitation, without guilt, and without a second thought. To them, people are not human beings. They're assets, tools, pieces on a chessboard. And the scariest part, most of us never see it coming. That's why it's crucial to pay attention, not to what people say, but to the patterns behind their behavior. Do they lie easily, even about small things? Do they shift blame without remorse? Do they seem unusually good at gaining trust too quickly, too easily? If you've ever had a gut feeling about someone, a quiet discomfort, a flicker of warning, don't ignore it. Your instincts have been shaped over thousands of years to detect danger long before your conscious mind catches up. If this chapter has made you rethink the people you admire, you're not alone. And if you're finding value in uncovering these hidden dynamics, pause here for a moment. Subscribe to this channel. This isn't just about learning psychology. It's about building armor for the mind. In Chapter 4, we'll turn inward. Because the threat isn't only outside of us. There's a shadow in all of us, one that, if left unchecked, can be just as dangerous. Let's uncover it. Not all monsters live outside of us. Some live within, and they wear our face. Carl Jung, one of the great minds of modern psychology, called it the shadow. The hidden part of our psyche we refuse to acknowledge. It's the dark twin of our consciousness. The place where we bury the things we don't want to see, our envy, our rage, our desire for control, superiority, vengeance. But here's the truth. Burying it doesn't kill it. It feeds it. You see, the shadow doesn't disappear when we deny it. It festers. And the more we suppress it, the more power it gains. Eventually, it begins to leak out. In sarcasm, in passive aggression, in manipulation disguised as concern. It surfaces in whispers. Until one day, it roars. This is the psychology behind the most terrifying type of person, the one who truly believes they are good. They go through life performing virtue, kindness, humility, compassion, while their unacknowledged darkness quietly grows stronger beneath the surface. They are unaware of the resentment they carry, the superiority they feel, the subtle need to dominate wrapped in a smile. And one day, that shadow becomes the puppeteer. Jung warned us, the more you deny the shadow, the more likely it is to control you. The most destructive people aren't always malicious by intent. They're unaware. They've buried their shame, their wounds, their hunger for control so deep that they believe the mask is their real face. But repression doesn't lead to virtue. It leads to volatility. Think of the leader who preaches love but cannot tolerate criticism. The friend who claims humility but secretly craves admiration. The parent who teaches discipline yet cannot regulate their own emotions. These people don't just hurt others, they don't even understand how they do it. And that is why the shadow is so dangerous. It hides not only from the world, but from ourselves. And until we face it, until we have the courage to look into the mirror without flinching, we remain at risk of becoming the very manipulators we fear. So how do we fight it? Not with shame, not with denial, but with awareness. The path to power over your own life begins not with pretending to be pure, but with embracing your complexity, recognizing the parts of you that you'd rather not see, and learning to work with them, not against them. Because the truth is this: the shadow isn't evil, it's human. And when acknowledged, it becomes your ally, not your enemy. If you've been watching and reflecting on the nature of others, now is the time to reflect inward. Ask yourself, what have I hidden from myself? What part of me do I fear, resent, or suppress? Leave a comment below if you dare and share one trait you're learning to acknowledge. This isn't confession, it's transformation. And in that process, you reclaim your power, not over others, but over yourself. In Chapter 5, we explore the illusion that keeps us blind, trust, how it's built, how it's broken, and how it becomes the perfect weapon. Trust is the glue of human connection. It's what allows us to love, to follow, to build. But what if I told you that same glue can be used to trap you? Our brains are wired for trust. Evolution shaped us to cooperate, to believe in others, to form tribes for survival. That instinct, to give people the benefit of the doubt, is what kept early humans alive. But in the modern world, it can get you destroyed. You see, the most dangerous people are not the ones who make you fear them. They're the ones who make you feel safe. They use warmth, kindness, and empathy as tools, not because they feel them, but because you do. These are the people who mirror your values, who reflect your emotions, who make you feel seen, understood, even loved. But it's all a performance. They study you, your wounds, your dreams, your insecurities, and they craft a version of themselves that seems like your perfect match, not out of connection, but out of strategy. This is the illusion of trust. And it's why so many of us never see the betrayal coming, because we're not falling for them. We're falling for ourselves, for the image they reflect back at us. The more they resemble what we want to see, the deeper we fall, and the tighter their grip becomes. Manipulators know this. They build trust not to honor it, but to weaponize it. One of their most devastating tactics is gaslighting, subtly making you doubt your reality, your memory, even your sanity. A look, a denial, a gentle correction. Over time, you stop trusting your instincts and start trusting them. And by then, they don't need to control you. You control yourself for them. If you've ever felt that quiet, gnawing sense that something's wrong, but ignored it because they seem like such a good person, that's the illusion at work. Trust, once used against you, is not just betrayal, it's identity theft. So how do you protect yourself? Not by shutting down, not by distrusting everyone, but by learning to trust wisely. Trust is not a gift, it's a test. It's not something to offer blindly, but to build slowly. Watch for patterns, not promises. Listen to actions, not words. And most importantly, trust your gut. It often knows what your mind hasn't admitted yet. And if you've been finding clarity in this journey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this message with someone who needs it. Let them see what you see now, because silence protects the manipulator, not the victim. In our final chapter, we'll talk about resilience, not just how to spot manipulation, but how to rise above it, how to reclaim your autonomy, rebuild your boundaries, and walk away without guilt. Because in the end, awareness isn't just a defense, it's freedom. There comes a moment, quiet, often invisible, when you realize someone isn't who they seem to be. Maybe it's a word they slipped, a look they gave when they thought you weren't watching. Or maybe it's a feeling, that strange, weightless shift in your gut telling you something's off. That moment? It's not paranoia, it's awakening. By now, you've seen the mask. You've felt the chill beneath the charm. You've understood how manipulation doesn't shout, it whispers. How power isn't always taken by force, but given away through blind trust. And how the most dangerous people often wear the softest smiles. But here's what matters most. You're no longer powerless. The first and most critical step in protecting yourself is self-awareness, knowing your values, your needs, your limits. When you define your boundaries clearly, you become harder to manipulate. You no longer bend at the first sign of affection or pressure. You pause. You assess. You choose. Because freedom doesn't come from walking away. It comes from knowing when to walk away and not flinching when you do. The manipulator thrives on confusion, guilt, emotional chaos. So take those tools away. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Practice emotional detachment, not coldness, but clarity. Don't let their words sink past your skin. Let them float. Let them pass. And remember, the strongest boundaries are the ones enforced silently. You don't need to explain your worth. You don't need to fight to be heard. You know. And that's enough. Surround yourself with truth tellers, people who challenge you, not charm you. Build a tribe where masks melt, where honesty lives. Because manipulation cannot thrive where there is shared awareness. And if you're still healing from the grip of someone who twisted your trust, let me say this. You didn't deserve it. You're not foolish for believing. You're human. But now, you're human with armor. This journey isn't about fear. It's about sight. And when you see clearly, you don't need to fight every battle. You simply stop walking into the trap. If this series helped you sharpen your awareness, protect your energy, and reclaim your peace, consider subscribing. Not because I told you to, but because something in you knows you're meant to grow stronger, wiser, freer. Stay awake, stay grounded, and above all, reflect deeply. Because the world may be full of masks, but once you see behind them, you're never fooled again.